Well, my name is Julie Earle. I'm Volunteer Project Coordinator for Gateshead Access Panel. I've been here since 1999. Worked here full-time since 2004. I think what people have been asking is, how did I get here in the first place? And sort of the inspirational case study behind the adult learning situation. I was housebound for 10 years. Through physical and mental impairment, and didn't have any education, had been unemployed for quite a number of years, and people were telling us that I probably would never work again, and who would want us? I was knackered, crackers, no good to anybody, and I really believed that, to be fair. Because I couldn't envisage doing anything else. I didn't have any qualifications to do anything, any education, and I couldn't physically do the work I'd done before. I was frantically looking for some help and some direction as to what I could do next. So again, from my bed, I must have rang about 40 different places. I went through the yellow pages looking, couldn't get any answers. You know, I was getting frustrated. In the end, I rang social services up in desperation, and they said, oh, we know of a disability organisation in Gates that they may be of some help for you. But she invited us in to become a volunteer here. But I kept saying, well, volunteer to do what? I can't do anything. And I remember seeing this girl, this woman, and she was a volunteer within the office, and she was like franking the mail and getting people to sign the cheques and answering the telephones, and I was thinking, I want to be that clever. So they brought us in, as I said, volunteering, and what they did was they let us play with things, you know, like computers. I'd never even sat in front of a computer before, and see if I could use one and do bits and things, and encouraged us into small bits of training. So they were saying to us, come along and help with the training. And I remember having a massive panic attack and thinking, I can't do this, this is awful. But the peer support and encouragement kept saying, no, you can do it, you can do it, and eventually would help deliver this training as part of a team and help with various things in the office and start picking up the telephones and franking the letters and getting the cheques written. And then I'd always watched them with the computers. They used to have these big spreadsheets with loads of figures on and things. And I used to look, and they used to say, you'll be doing these soon. I used to say, can't do that, there's no way I'm doing that. Anyway, they said they were sending us on a course, and it was upstairs and whatever. And to be honest, I thought it was one of those day things where you just turn up and you do all this, and then you go home and you get an attendance certificate. It was a 12-week, I think, OCN level 2 in bookkeeping and for the non-profit sector or something. And I did the 12 weeks, and I actually passed, and I felt as if I'd won a gold medal. I was like, oh, you know, everybody come to the ceremony to see us get that bit of certificate. Because that was the first thing I'd passed in, like, well, school, I think. I mean, in fact, I didn't even pass much at school. It was a case of people used to say that I had potential, but I was always frightened of failing. So I'd never put myself out there because I just thought, well, no, I'll fail and everybody will laugh. One day I went to Northumbria University, but I was only going to go to talk about a day course, to be fair. And I came back, and I'd actually signed up for a degree. I think that was the mental health, really. But no, I was talking to a guy there, and I didn't realise he was the tutor, enrolment tutor. And the next thing I knew, he said, oh, you know, I'd like to offer you a place at university. Well, people like me just don't go to university. I mean, first of all, I'm in my 40s, and I'm living in a council estate, and I come in a secondary modern school and things like that. People like me just don't do university. This was in my head. But I persevered and got a reasonably good mark, my first essay. My mum, bless her, said, well, how Julie, you know, you were always good at school at essays. And I said, Mum, those were compositions and they were 20 odd years ago. I hardly think they're the same thing, but we'll give it a go. And then I sort of quickly realised that even people who did have these major qualifications that I didn't have, possibly didn't have some of the skills that I possessed, because with doing the voluntary work, I had done presentations and I had spoke to people and read things and various things. And so when it come to doing a presentation, for instance, I just thought, oh, this is dead easy. Other people were shaking and things like that. So it was like you started to realise that as an individual, you had skills, and then when it came to discussing a subject, that you could understand that and have merit and contribute to that. That your opinion may be different, but it still was, you know, a viable contribution. So anyway, cut a long story short, I did the 3 years university and I got a 2-1 honours degree.